to the community portion of the program. I'm pleased to present the award to an individual in the community who has been dedicated to educating and inspiring our youth, Mr. Robert Thomas. Mr. Thomas has been volunteering at Sherwood High School for 6 years, coming once a week to talk to chemistry students about real-world topics. After a lifetime of work as an analytical chemist in the steel industry, he has dedicated much of his time to engaging students by sharing his experience and expertise. Mr. Thomas's talks connect students to the real-world applications of chemistry as well as other topics related to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or as we call it, STEM, another one of our acronyms, which increases the students' motivation to learn. For example, Mr. Thomas assists with extracurricular activities, including the STEM Club and the Chemathon team. Mr. Thomas works with the STEM Club to plan fun activities like making borax crystal snowflakes for the holidays and making chemistry-themed valentines like I've Got My Eye on You and Let's Bond, which bring chemistry principles to life for students. He also has helped coach the school's Chemathon team for the last 4 years, which competes in the spring at the University of Maryland. Mr. Thomas also recruits other volunteers to help our students. Since 2004, Mr. Thomas has headed a volunteer program that partners the American Association for the Advancement of Science with the senior scientists and engineers to support K-12 STEM education, foster STEM literacy, and motivate students to pursue STEM careers. The volunteers are recruited from the science, engineering, and medical communities in the Washington, D.C. metro area and commit to support a school by visiting at least once a week to assist teachers and students. Mr. Thomas is applauded for his dedication to helping students become more interested and involved in STEM and his long-standing support of public education. This evening, I am pleased to ask Mr. Robert Thomas to come forward and accept this award for distinguished service to public education. Here's the award. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good evening. I haven't prepared a speech, but there are a number of people that I would like to thank who have been an integral part of the success of our volunteer program over the past 10 years, even though I've only been in it 6 years. 3 dedicated scientists got together 10 years ago and responded to an editorial in Science magazine about the lack of science literacy amongst the general public. They decided to do something about it. So they went to the school system in Montgomery County and said, we would like to volunteer in the schools. There were only 3 of them at that time, but they quickly got together a few of their colleagues, and that first year in 2004, 8 of them ventured into MCPs to volunteer their time into the schools, into the classrooms, to bring a real-world perspective to STEM. 10 years later, we are 170 strong in the DC region. So we have come a long way in 10 years. I lead the program in Montgomery County. I don't lead the entire program. The leader of the entire program is sitting next to me there, Don Ray. But in Montgomery County, we have 55 volunteers who are volunteering in elementary, middle, and high schools with the sole purpose of bringing real-world science into the classroom. So with that, I'd like to thank the chemistry teachers at Sherwood High School who nominated me. Over the past 6 years, I've supported 7 chemistry teachers. This year, I'm only supporting 3. They have me working the entire day. Actually, this year, it's only 6 lessons. Last year, it was the entire 7 lessons, so they're giving me a break. They give me 6th period off, which is great. So I'd like to thank Kathy Cross and Michael Meal, who are here today, who are my 2 chemistry teachers. Also, Mary Baker couldn't make it because she's at her daughter's graduation up in Boston, but also the other chemistry teachers in Sherwood who I've supported over the past 6 years. I really would like to thank the AAAS for supporting our program, because we could not do this without their support. They are our moral and sometimes our financial support, but nothing is too much trouble for them, and they've certainly given us the inspiration to go into the schools and do what we do. And I really would like to thank Don Ray and Dave Richmond tonight, because they were the 3 founding grandfathers of the program, and we get a lot of inspiration from them. In addition, I would like to thank Amy Gensimer, who's, if we didn't get her support, we could not make this happen. Amy identifies all the teachers in Montgomery County who are interested in putting a focus on STEM, and every year we have a training meeting, and once that training meeting is over, we connect all our volunteers with STEM teachers. Unfortunately, last year we had more STEM teachers than we had volunteers. It's a good thing to have, but I always feel bad when I can't give a teacher who really wants our support. I cannot give them a volunteer. So hopefully this year we'll be able to give you a full crew of volunteers, Amy. And I would also like to thank my wife and my family for supporting me over the past 6 years. This is something which requires a lot of time. And even though I'm an analytical chemist by profession, I haven't worked in a lab for many years. I'm actually a freelance science writer, but I have a very active business, so that keeps me very busy. So even though I'm only volunteering 1 day a week in Sherwood High School, the time commitment to actually doing this is more than 1 day a week. And my wife is there to support me, and she's, encourages me all the way. So, okay, final words. If you know of a teacher who's really interested in putting a focus on STEM in their classroom, we will get you a volunteer. Just give the teacher's name to Amy Gensimer. If you or your colleagues are STEM professionals and are interested in going into the classroom, see me, because I'd love to have you. Thanks a lot, appreciate it.